Hey, what's up, everybody? Look at this theta breaking out right now. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this. This is something we talked about on the other video. We were at 69 cents, and we just broke out and we just tagged all the way, what was that? 83, almost 84 cents. So is this just a pump and dump? Is this a legitimate breakout? What's going on with theta? Well, let's take a look. Let's go to the higher time frame here. So in the previous video, I was talking about one or two things that could happen. And this is not to say I was right, because it's never about being right. It's just about which idea works the best. And I gave several ideas. One of the ideas was more of a correction, which is basically to show you that example. I can come down to the 1 hour chart. Basically, we were right here, and I said, look, this is a 1 2 3 1 2 3. Let's get another 1 2 3, and that would be a WXY, and then we can go. Obviously, that didn't happen. The other thing that I mentioned that did happen was this right here, which is the broadening bottom. It's a broadening wedge pattern. They can be bullish, they could be bearish, but since it's coming from the bottom of the range, I look at it to be bullish. And basically, you can go watch the previous theta video, and you can, check out the screenshot I had on there. But basically, I was saying, look, we want to break out of this thing and maybe come down and back test it, maybe play around here, and then continue marching higher, right? So is that going to happen? Well, it looks pretty good, right? It looks pretty good. And I would say one thing is we're running right into resistance. So we had a beautiful pump. I mean, guys, we were down Friday, October 23rd. I think that was last week, right? Wasn't that? That's about a week ago. We went up about 50% in 1 week. Currently right now 42% in 1 week. Or sorry, is that 2 weeks? Let's see. Let me get the exact. 12 days. So it's about almost 2 weeks. So, 50% in 12 days, that's not bad. I mean, that's actually pretty good. And that's actually really good. So, does that mean you buy right now? Well, I'm not here to give financial advice. Anything I can say could be totally wrong. It could be totally right. It's anybody's guess, anybody's speculation. I personally wouldn't be buying right now because I've already bought. If I didn't buy, I probably maybe dipped my toe a little bit, but geez, it went up 50% in 12 days. I would really want to see a back test, at least come down and back test this area right here. So this was our last resistance that we had, about 76 cents, 74 cents. So maybe there, or even better, we had this is the broadening wedge. We had a point here, a point here, a point here, a point here, and we ran up to here. So if we pump up here, we could come all the way back down and back test the top of this wedge here, and that's definitely possible. Let me actually put that picture on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about from the previous video. So here we have a broadening formation. You can see on the left hand side there's a broadening bottom formation, which the price heading down into a broadening bottom formation. Say that 10 times fast. And then you have the price going up. On the right hand side you can see a broadening top formation where price is trending higher, and then it starts to stall out into a broadening top. So what we experienced is bullish because let me put this here, we are coming down in this price movement. Same thing here. See how the price is moving down? Price is moving down into a broadening bottom formation. And then you could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. And when there we go. That's a textbook broadening formation that just played out right before our eyes. Did I know it was going to do that? I mean, it was a good chance. It was a good possibility. Or we could have came back down and at ABC and then continued to rise. I would have been fine with either way. But look, doesn't matter. We got the breakout. It's awesome. It's a good day to hold theta. I mean, look at the rest of the market. Look at Bitcoin. Look at just all the coins in the top 10. They're not nearly as good as what theta is doing. And it's kind of interesting because I just posted a video the other day and we have this beautiful breakout. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. Or did I get it right? I don't know. I don't like to toot my own horn. But at the end of the day, I will take it. Any day of the week, I will take it. So I'm excited. We have that breakout. And what next? What next? What next? What could be happening next? Well, let's take a step back and go to the daily chart. So here's the daily chart. It's looking really nice. Like I've said before, we've had this massive impulse move to the upside and then this corrective move to the downside. Notice how impulsive this is. I mean, we went from the bottom of this wave to the top of this wave pretty fast. But then look how long it's taking to get back down. That's how you know we're bullish, right? That's how you know this is a bullish chart, because we are impulsing to the upside and we are correcting to the downside. That's how you know, the trend is your friend. That's how you know you're on the right side of the trade, is basically looking at how much velocity and speed this has, and then look how corrective this is. Because it's corrective, that tells me that we are gearing up to go into another impulsive phase, right? Does that mean it's happening today, tomorrow, next week, next month? I have no idea. I have no clue. But at the end of the day, it's going to happen sooner or later. We just don't know, at what point, right? We don't want it to get too overextended, because when price gets too extended, usually it's not sustainable, and then we come crashing down. But right now, we can see, look how small this broadening pattern is on the much larger time frame. I mean, look at this monster move and this monster bear market. You can see how it's coming down, and now it's starting to flatten out and create our base here. And I was saying in the other video, and this is where I will say that I am correct, is the Wyckoff accumulation. So I was talking about this being a Wyckoff accumulation pattern where you have that first three-wave move up. I'm on the 2-day chart. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see it better, but you get the idea. We had this move to the upside, back down to support, back to the upside without breaking the high, and then we developed our spring pattern that took out this low and this low and this low. We wanted it to take out the low because that's a liquidity grab. Like I was talking about in our previous video, $10 million, the guy who is a billionaire, who has millions and millions and millions of dollars, he can't just buy wherever he wants. He has to pick his position. And in order for him to do that, what does he need to do? He needs to wait for an influx of a liquidity. So that's where I like Wyckoff accumulation, because it tells me what the big guys are doing. It doesn't tell me exactly where they're going to do it, right? But basically, the guy who has $10 million, he can't just buy wherever he wants. He has to wait until there's an influx of liquidity. And the only way that can happen is if you break support. So retail is looking at this line right here as support, right? Let me actually put that on so you can see it exactly what I'm talking about here. So this was a horizontal line, another horizontal line, and I will go down to do the 6-hour chart. Look at that beautiful pump. So we came down here and we broke this support. So we broke this support, and this support. And everybody, the retail's like, oh no, that's a bad thing. That is not a good thing. But that is the only way the guy with $10 million can buy, is because we broke the support. So you say, well, what does that mean? Well, it basically means everybody's stop loss got triggered, right? Because what does retail do? Retail basically puts their stop on support, right? Or even vice versa at resistance. So if they're short and it breaks out, their stop loss will get triggered. So everybody's stop was at about 58 cents. So what happened was price breaks below 58 cents, everybody's stop loss gets triggered. On top of that, everybody went short. On top of that, the guy with $10 million went long. And on top of that, all the shorts in retail got liquidated because what happened? Wyckoff accumulation. That's what happened. Boom. The guy with $10 million, he bought, and then what happened? Everybody who went short, they saw the price breaking out to the downside, and that's why I don't really like, breakout trades, because oftentimes they could be misleading. If breakouts are, on the bottom of the range and they're breaking to the upside, that's different. But if they're at the bottom of a wave and they're breaking to the downside, that's very risky, because anything can happen. And a lot of times what happens is the whales are accumulating in here. This is accumulation in here. And when we have that final, this is what I like to say, the spring phase. So the spring phase is right here. We broke support, and you could see three-way move to the upside, three-way move to the upside, down move, secondary test, right? Come back up here without breaking up this high, and then the spring phase. This is the best part right here. This is where people should be buying, is in here, right? And especially when we break support. Now, when you break support, it's very risky, because you're like, your gut is saying no, no, no. Your brain is saying no, no, no. Your psychology is like, it's cringing, right? Because it doesn't feel good. When you have those emotions of not feeling good, that's when you need to go against it and buy. I unfortunately missed the very bottom, but I was still able to pick a bunch up in this area in here. So I wish I gotten more, right? It's always that, right? When you break out, you always say, dang, I wish I would have gotten more. But that's just the game we play, right? So anyway, we had the spring phase, the guy with $10 million, the market makers, the whales, right? When I say $10 million, I mean, I'm giving you an example of somebody who has a lot of money who cannot buy like we can buy. He has to wait until people's stop losses get triggered, so all that liquidity gets liquidated, so then he can take the coins while everybody else is holding, the bag. And basically, when I say holding the bag, I mean they got screwed. They got liquidated, right? So anyway, that's old news. We have the spring. We had the reaction, right? And I was saying, when we were in here, this is a good sign. And when we were right here, I was like, we really need to get above and play around. And what happens? See this yellow circle? I had that yellow circle there because that's where I was thinking, okay, this is where we are in this yellow circle area. We could come down in ABC a little bit, but what happened? It didn't happen. We broke out with a vengeance. And basically, what you see here is a completed Wyckoff accumulation pattern. Isn't it beautiful? Right? We saw it developing right before our eyes, right? You have preliminary support. You have, we have this crash. We have this retracement, another hit to the low, and you can just see how it's forming. And then you see the spring phase, you see the break of liquidity. I mean, right here, when you break that and then it shoots back in right here, that's when you know, okay, it's confirmed, it's Wyckoff accumulation, let's go, 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 go. And then that's exactly what happened. So I'm glad to see Theta pumping to the upside. Where can it go? Where can it possibly go? Well, let's see. If I take a trend-based Fibonacci extension and I pull it here, and then I bring it down here, we actually hit the 1.414, which is a good area to take profit. But I want to see it. I mean, it doesn't have to. Anything can happen. But I really want to see it come right here. 86 cents. I'm looking at 86 cents. That doesn't mean, look, I'm a hodler. Most of my positions are hodling position. I say 90% hodl, 10% trade. Right now, I'm not trading Theta. I'm holding Theta. I think it's too risky to trade in and out at the moment, but it doesn't stop me from trading other coins. For Theta, I'm looking at it as more of a long-term hold. So I don't really care what it does in the short term. But if I was trading this, I would say the 86 cent, between the 1.414 and the 1.618 extension is a good area to consider taking some profit before another correction. So let me take that off the screen. So yeah, now that we saw Wyckoff accumulation, you saw it right before your eyes, you saw the spring phase, you saw the breakout. So I can get rid of that. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let's go to the 2-day chart, and we'll take this up there. And just looking at this, I mean, look at it. Doesn't it look bullish to you? I mean, you have this monster base, right? The foundation. This is the foundation. And this is your flagpole. The flagpole is inside the concrete foundation. And what is this? This is the flag right here. This is the flag. And what do we call that? We call that a bull flag. And what do bull flags do? They break out. And what are we waiting for? A breakout. And when is it going to come? I have no clue when it's going to come. Timing is the hardest thing to predict. But there are tools to identify time, and those tools are right here. Trend-based Fibonacci time. So if I take this and I click it, and I go all the way to the top and I click it again, and then I bring it all the way to the very, very bottom. Let's see, where's the bottom of the wave? I'd say right there. Boom. And I would leave that right there. This will sort of give you an idea of when the next wave can top out at. So I would say, let me put a vertical line. Let me put a vertical line at the 786 and at the 1 and in between the 1. Okay, and then I'm going to take this off the screen. So I would say, what are those dates? April, June, July. Okay, so you heard it here on this channel. April, June, July. Those are the 3 months that I'm looking for the next cycle. That doesn't mean it's going to top on those very days, but we can start to see either some pretty impulsive movement, and we can start topping out here, or these Fibonacci timescales are basically saying when we're going to actually bottom. So we're just going to range in here before we break out. So it's hard to say which one is going to be. If I had to guess, I would say, the first one, especially, when we break above this here. So once we break above $1.34 to $1.70, when we break that zone, um, you know, that's the signal. Like, okay, we're now initiating at least a retracement, and for the retracement, we're retracing this wave. This is the monster wave. Look at that. Actually, I'm gonna put that on log scale because it's just so big. It's just so massive, and when you put it on linear scale, it just kind of it doesn't look it looks kind of funny. So I would say the 618 of this move right here at $4.57. So we want to see it. So remember the three lines I had here: April, May. No, what was it again? April, June, July. Okay, so April, June, July. I want to see us before that. I want to see us break above this range, and by April, June, July, I want to see us at least at about that $5 mark. So is it possible? Well, who knows? Anything's possible. This is not a prediction. This is not me saying this is exactly what's going to happen. I have no clue what's going to happen. I'm just giving an observation based off the tools that I have. Everybody has access to the same information as I do. Everybody has access to the same tools and data that I have access to. So, how do you interpret that data is up to you. But the way I interpret it is, just basically by the rules. And the rules say that, based on the 618 retrace, oftentimes that's what happens is when you have an extended move and you have a massive bear market following that move, or a crash, or whatever you want to say, oftentimes you have what? A retracement. And what is that retracement? Between the golden pocket and the 618 retracement. Now, if we get above the 702, that's when it's on like Donkey Kong. That's when, if we break above $6.08. Now, if I put that on, I'd rather put that on linear scale for that, because I like to be more conservative with the breakout targets for the confirmation that we are in a new bull run. And when I say bull run, I mean Theta entering a new price of discovery, which would be above $16. So basically, if we break above between $6 and $8, or between, I'd rather say $6 and $10, if we break above that, then I'm pretty confident we can break above that $16, $17 area and go into new all-time high. But look, we're way at the bottom of the range. Look how far we have to go to get there. I mean, we're sitting at 78 cents. And we're talking about $16 here, right, as the all-time high. So that is a monster move. That took what? 2021, 2022, 2023. And then next year would be 2024. So that would be a solid 3 years. So 2 years down, right? And then maybe 1 year up. And that would be a good call right there. That would be a good idea. So let me put the box there. I'll put that right there. And that's basically the target right in there. So let's see if we can accomplish that by next summer. So by next summer, I want to see this thing at or around between $5 and say $10. So I could be totally wrong, and this thing can be, way above 15 $16. So, and that will be that I would be glad to be wrong at that stage. But basically using that Fibonacci time-based extension, that's how it's looking. So, looking at the RSI, we are starting to, on the 2-day chart, starting to get into overbought territory. That doesn't mean anything really. You can start to see a little bit of bearish divergence forming on the 2-day chart. So we just gotta look out for that. I could show you a little deeper. Let me put this here. So you see how we're high, and then this is going all the way down. But look at the RSI, and it's actually going up. So this is going down, this is going up. We call that bearish divergence. And that's what has to happen, right? We have to have some bearish divergence. So what does bearish divergence mean? It doesn't mean, oh, it's going to crash and we're done, it's over with. What that means is we need to cool off a little bit. So we had, like I said in the beginning of the video, we went up 50%. Guys, we went up 50% in 12 days. That's an amazing accomplishment for Theta. Let's take it one step at a time here. So we had 50%. So what do we want to see? Well, like I said before, I would love to see, some type of pullback. And, let's go to the daily chart here. Let's see okay, same thing. If I go, we want maybe a 68 cents. So like a 10-cent correction. I think we can all afford that. So, we started here. This was the spring. This was the spring here. This was the liquidity grab. We went up 50%. And here was the breakout zone. This was right here, the breakout zone. But on the daily chart, we never came back down to backtest the breakout zone. So we could go A, B, C. And we can read confirmation. We can get some confirmation if we come down and we backtest the breakout zone, right? So here's our support. We broke above support. Here's our resistance. We broke above resistance, and now we need to come down to make it the new support. Doesn't mean it has to do that. What could happen, right? What could happen is we can break above this. This is the next resistance. What could happen is we can break above this resistance and then come down and backtest this resistance down here, right? We can go A, B, C, and test this as the new support. So we can break above, what is that? 85 cents, have an A, B, C, and back test 85 cents and then go higher. So it really depends what's going to happen. And then here's another thing that could happen too. We could actually come all the way up, break this, and then come all the way back down. That would suck, right? We get super excited, break this liquidity here. The whales short the position, grab that liquidity, because now, right, when you break above this, what happens? Everybody goes long. But then when everybody goes long, the guy with $10 million, he shorts it because now there's an influx of liquidity. And then it ABCs all the way back down to the backtest zone. And then what happens? The big guys, the whales, everybody, even retail, we buy support. Buy the support. Buy the backtest of this area. And then we rocket to the moon. So basically, that's basically it. We can come down here. We want to, every time you break a level, it's nice. It's not always happy, right? It's not always appealing, but it's nice to come down and backtest to confirm the new support, and then we break higher, right? Then we take out this high right here, right? And then you come down and back test that high, right? And then you just keep marching higher. So, that's sort of the idea of what we want to see. Now, what else could happen? Well, this thing can really accelerate all the way up here before, trickling out a little bit and then coming back up. So we want to see some more up movement, not necessarily in the short term, but in the medium to short term, we want to see that. So if we start getting, a three-wave shape, then I'm going to be worried that this is just a retracement. But if we start to see like a bigger pullback, a third wave, a fourth wave, and a fifth wave, then that's going to look better, right, for more continuation. So 5 waves is trend, 3 waves is correction. So anyway, don't want to get this video too long and too crazy. I just wanted to talk about this pump here. We got a little pullback, 76 cents now. Let's look at the short time frame and see what's going on. Yeah, we have a massive pop, and you see that candle right there? This was a pretty big wick, a rejection, and then you have this doji, right? It's red doji. It says, okay, we've hit massive resistance. It's kind of like, imagine you're 10 feet tall, or imagine you're 15 feet tall and you're sitting down in your living room, and then you stand up and you bump your head on the ceiling and you're like, boom. And then what do when you bump your head? You immediately pull yourself down to avoid bumping your head again, right? And that's kind of what the price did. And then what happens after that? You have the reaction, and then you have the sell. So looking at the short time frame, what could we see? Well, like before, 73 cents to about right there. So as long as we hold above that, I think we are doing great. We need pullbacks along the way. Nothing goes up in a straight line. Looks like we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe an A, B, C. Hold this as the back test zone. Hold it as the new support, or even possibly down here before continuing to go even higher. So, or what we could do is just sort of range in here for a little while. Maybe another Wyckoff pattern, right? And then continue breaking out. So there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. I'm not here to say which one's going to be right or wrong. I'm here to just say, hey, here's a few possibilities that could play out, and let's see if they do play out. But that's about it. The last thing I would say is we really want to see, what would make me incredibly happy is to get back above $1.60, above this high. So above this range, right? Basically, I look at this as we're correcting down and we're getting squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. I also look at this like, a Wyckoff move where you have this up move, a down, back up, and then here's our spring phase. We just developed the spring phase in here. And then in this right here, this is another Wyckoff accumulation pattern that was developing at the end of this spring. So we have a Wyckoff within a Wyckoff, right? Within a broadening bottom formation. So what do we want to see? We want to really just see impulsing out of here. And that would be an amazing thing. And I think we really have a good shot at that. So the bearish thing would be if we get up here and we reject this retracement, and then we start coming down here and we break this low, that's going to be bad, because then I'm looking at another low, right? And I talked about that in the other video. If this were to occur, right, we would have, what was it again? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and then one more 1, 2, 3, right? So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would complete a 5-wave move. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in the fourth now, and then we get one more 5, and then we moon to the upside. That could very, very, very well happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you have to be on the lookout, So basically, I have on the bigger scale, we have two options. Option number one, we just keep back testing, impulsing to the upside, and breaking above this range. Option number two, we come up a little higher and then we come down for a fifth wave, right? And you can say, well, that's just saying, you're up or down, well, yeah, that's the reality of it, right? That's the reality of charts. It could go up, it could go down, it could go sideways. I have no clue what it's going to do. I'm just looking at the same data everybody else is. So, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or this is the end of a spring phase and now we're ready to rock and roll. So right in here is a pivotal point. So I'll be paying attention to what happens in this area right in here to see if we can crack it. We really want to crack above. If we can crack above $1.15, I'm pretty confident we can crack above $1.60. So just have to wait and see what happens. But other than that, I'm going to leave it here. What do you guys think? Also, XRP had a nice pump today. You can see here, XRP also had this spring phase in here, and we came up and we broke out. I had another video about this as well. But you can see how it's cupping into the resistance, cupping into the resistance, cupping into the resistance, right? It's doing these cups, and it's knocking on the door, knocking on the door, knocking on the door, knocking on the door, knocking on the door. And this right here, this was the SEC announcement. Like I said before, that was an anomaly. But what I really want to show you is we have the breakout. So even if I go to the, let's go to the 3-day chart. We have a break above this area. So we got knocked back down, but we supported, the price was supported, and we never broke this low. We wicked below it, but none of the bodies of the candle broke it, right? So then we had the reaction, and now we're sitting above resistance. We're sitting at 59 cents. We got all the way up to, I think, 61, 62 cents. So XRP and Theta, two of my favorite assets, and love to see the price action. We have a long way to go in this journey. But if I had to choose, I'm very bullish on XRP because XRP never broke its all-time high. Theta did. So it's more likely for Theta. So, for example, let's say this was Theta's move, and now Theta's down here, and now Theta's starting to go up. Well, if that's the case, then Theta could be in a retracement. Well, guess what? XRP already made its retracement, and now it's in its accumulation. But both assets, in my opinion, are going to be incredibly valued higher and higher and higher over time. We just have to sit and hodl. But anyway, not financial advice. That's just my perspective on what I see. And I could be totally right. It could be totally wrong. I have no idea. But I love to find out and take this ride. And we're all on the same team. And let's get it together. So thank you for watching, guys. Take care. And happy Halloween.